Assalamualaikum class. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 5, that is cost behavior and analysis. In our second chapter we have already discussed about variable cost and fixed cost. Our main focus on in this chapter will be on variable cost as well as fixed cost, their types, nature with respect to activity, and continue to this activity base. So first we will discuss about variable cost. We can define variable cost, the cost that vary with the level of production, or we can say level of activity. Its example is this, like if we have units 20, 30, 40 and per unit cost for production is 30, it will remain same as it is the per unit cost. Now total cost, how we will identify the total variable cost? 20 multiplied by 30, it will be a 6000. 30 multiplied by 30, it will be a 9000. 40 multiplied by 30, it will be a 12,000. So with the level of production our cost is varying, that means it is the variable cost. Then comes activity base. It is the measure of what ever causes the increase of variable cost. These can refer cost drivers that vary the cost. These cost drivers may be direct labor hours, machine hours, units produced, as we have already discussed with the unit production. At the base, on the base of these activity bases, our variable costs change. So these will be the unit produced, can be the produced, can be the activity base of variable cost. And units sold, for selling the units there also comes are labor. Who put efforts for unit selling. In different type of organizations, there will be a different type of variable costs. Like if we say with respect to organization, the variable cost can be different. Like for a merchandising company, our variable cost will be the cost of goods manufactured. Our variable cost will be included in this. For manufacturing company, the variable cost may be with respect to direct material, with respect to direct labor, but variable elements of manufacturing overhead will be indirect material, lubricants, supplies, and power. So, in manufacturing company, the variable elements will be the indirect material, the lubricants, the supplies, and power that is utilized for the production of units. This is the first type of organization, that is merchandising company. Second type of organization, that is manufacturing company. Third type of organization is also there, both merchandising and manufacturing company. Both type of organization also exist, like who is manufacturing as well as selling. So in that type of organization, the variable elements of selling and admin costs will be commissions. As you all know, commissions vary with the level of sales. Shipping cost, like how many units you are shipping with respect to date, that are variable cost change. Fourth type of organization is services organization. In that, only variable cost can be the part of supplies. With reference to supplies or with respect to supplies, our variable cost exist. Then comes true variable cost. True variable cost versus step variable cost. How we can differentiate the true variable cost versus step variable cost? Always remember, direct materials will be in true manner as direct proportion to the level of production. So we can say our direct material will be our true variable cost. Our direct material will be our true variable cost. Also we can say any direct material that is purchased but not put into production will also be a inventory, and same the true sense of true variable cost. The inventory that is utilized in the level of production or the inventory that is not utilized but purchased will be called as will be the part of true variable cost. As compared to it in step variable cost, a resource that is obtained in large chunks and that can be increase or decrease, that can be increase or decrease only in response to changes in activity. Like if we say indirect material, indirect labor, and overheads, these all cost will be the step variable cost because they are relying on true variable cost. Whenever the direct material will be utilized, their part of usage will come. They will be utilized in large chunks on the base of true variable costs. That will be a material or that will be an inventory that we will going to start in our production, and we will use this inventory. So what will happen, it will become a resource that will be obtained in large chunks, and they can be increase or decrease only in response changes in activity. What type of activity? The level of production, the inventory that will be started for the production, they will be utilized. So these will be the called step variable cost. Their amount will be considered as step variable cost. Then come the concept of fixed cost. This we also discussed in chapter number 2, that the cost that remain unchanged or cannot be vary, can't be vary with respect to activity, like rents, wages, salaries. So these will be the called as fixed cost. Then comes types of fixed cost. The first one is committed fixed cost, and second one is discretionary fixed cost. Committed fixed cost and discretionary fixed cost. Committed fixed cost, we can say investments done in facilities, equipments, and basic organization setup that can't be reduced for short period of times. It means time also matter in committed fixed cost, as well as investments that are done as a long term periods. Long term periods, what type of facilities to start a production or business, equipments that are utilized in the production, the basic organization setup, the cost that is incurred for this purpose. All these type of cost will be considered as committed fixed cost, because without committed fixed cost we cannot run organization, we cannot done production, we cannot set up our organization. So discretionary fixed cost, we can say it is the opposite of the committed fixed cost. Opposite of committed fixed cost. Second thing is annual decisions done by management to spend on certain fixed cost items. For example, advertising, research, public relations, internship for students. So in easy words, these type of fixed cost can be reduced and increased very easily anytime. It can be a short run, a short period, it can be a long period. But in both cases, this cost can be controlled. We can reduce this cost, we can increase this cost. Then comes mixed cost. With with reference to chapter number 2, we call it total cost, because it is the combination of variable cost and fixed cost. To explain the mixed cost concept, we will use regression line formula that you have studied in statistical in your statistics subject and topic. Very common equation, that is y is equal to a plus b x. Y is equal to total mixed cost, a is equal to total fixed cost, b is equal to variable cost per unit of activity, and x is equal to level of activity. To glamorate this bx, if you remember our variable cost concept, that we need number of units, and per unit cost, it is the level of activity, and it is the per unit cost that we will multiply with each other, and we will get our total variable cost. So with reference to this, these two variables involved, one is per unit cost and second is level of activity, like number of units produced, how much number of units produced, that will be our level of activity. To make it easy, I say that to calculate the to calculate the mixed cost, we are given 25,000 fixed cost plus 3 rupees per unit variable cost of activity. Now the x is there. What is the meaning of x? Level of activity. In easy words, how much number of units, how much level of activity, how much machine hours are there, how much direct labors are there, that will this type of activity will reflect. Like if I say that there are 30 units